Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Women Changing Our World. I am Kelly.
Good morning. I am Jamie. Good morning.
And it's a lovely day today.
I know. I forgot to put my lipstick on. I'm feeling naked.
No.
I feel like I'm sitting here naked.
I'm glad you're not.
I feel
that would be
naked.
on that topic, why I randomly have comments about that. So I was watching this show on Netflix.
Naked and Afraid?
No, but first of all, I would never be on that show. First of all, I don't even like to go hiking. Why would I want to be stranded for 30 days with no clothes with a stranger in the jungle with lots of bugs?
What is the premise of it? Why are they naked?
Because I think that just adds an extra this really sucks element. You get sunburn, you get bug bites in places you definitely
like
don't
they don't
want
have
bug
any
bites.
blankets or anything.
No, they freeze.
They're just naked.
Yes.
What if,
I don't know. But the point I was trying to make was I was watching this short documentary on Netflix called Worn. Oh. And it's about how clothing or not wearing clothing groups people together. But it followed this really old couple. They live in a nudist colony.
I would assume that if you don't have any clothes on, it would put you in a separate group. I mean, I don't want to be inviting all my friends to the bar, and I'm like, all right.
Okay, so now we're going down a rabbit hole. What
do you mean they're in another group?
No, I mean sports teams all wear the same uniform, so it makes them feel a community.
Like the type of gotcha. Business suits are in a thing.
Well, right, or I don't know. I can't explain it. Watch it. It was interesting, but you see old naked people, so maybe don't watch it. I don't really know.
Why?
So I was in Jamaica with my husband, and we stayed at this resort that we love. It was the first time we'd ever been there.
Yes.
Right next to it was a clothing optional resort. Mm. When these people walked down the beach in front of our resort, you had to wear clothes. But when I say clothes, I mean littlest as possible.
So they had a bag with them. They're got to the resort, and they tie on their clothes.
They take off their clothes.
Weird.
I know. Anyway, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Can you imagine you're on the beach with your you're naked, you're walking down the beach, and you get to this part of the resort, you're like, damn it, honey, you forgot your clothes again. I told you we can't walk on
it's not really clothes. It's a very itty bitty cloth,
How does that work? Do you go to the dining room with no clothes?
I don't know. Don't spill any soup. That's going to hurt.
You drop a fork?
I feel like we've talked about this before on the show.
I know. I feel like we have too.
I know. My allergies are killing me. FYI. So if I blow my nose in the middle of the show, I totally apologize. Hello, Lynn. Lynn from Minnesota is joining us this morning.
Hi, Lynn. I'm just sending a message to DeShanda. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
What are you sending a message about?
I'm just sharing our group with her. I'm just doing the admin stuff, just behind the scenes today.
I know. I'm manning all of our Facebook pages.
Kelly and I were talking. We're both feeling a little down today. We think it's the weather, maybe some allergies.
No, I don't feel down. I'm just tired. So my allergies are bothering me so much. I usually only take a half a Zyrtec before I go to bed. Last night, I took a full Zyrtec.
Oh, wow.
I know. So I was out like a light.
That puts you to sleep?
Cannot stay awake. It's like taking a Benadryl.
See, so if I take Zyrtec,
Hello from New York. We have people watching from all over.
I know. Everyone is going to be watching because DeShanda is a big person in New York. Right? She comes from New York. She lives in New York. Her friends and family are there.
Thank you for the people that are liking and sharing our show. We have so many shares already, Jamie.
Good. Everyone's excited to see
I know it's going to be a very popular show today.
I can't wait for this.
But your dad was a corrections.
My dad was a corrections officer, yes.
So you kind of know this kind of world, right?
Well, my dad became a corrections officer sort of later in life and worked there till he retired at Rikers. And, my dad doesn't really give me any of the behind-the-scenes scoop.
Ooh, I hope she gives us the scoop.
My dad is more everything is flowers, roses. That's true. Everything is great. The people were super nice.
Okay. So I was about to put in my headset so we can call.
Yeah.
I was like, what is in my headset? Because I keep them in my purse. Yes. Guess what was in the inside of my headset?
What? Cheerios?
No, a nerd.
How was Easter? Happy Easter,
Oh, happy
everyone.
Easter. Happy late
I totally
Easter.
forgot about it. I packed all these baskets, and then I just forgot it was Easter.
Oh, Jerry's watching. Jerry, you're not in the studio with us today. But he's watching from somewhere in the building, I think.
Jerry, thanks for watching. Where literally
Come
are
on
you?
down, Jerry.
Yeah. Where do you think Jerry goes?
I think he has an office upstairs. I don't know.
You know, it's like when you are in school and you're teachers and you feel like they live at a certain place.
Right.
So I just feel like Jerry lives at I Love CVille, and when he's not here, I'm like, where did he go?
What else could he possibly be doing?
I can't imagine him having another house, even though I know he has a house. It's weird for me because
he does have a family.
I know. I don't believe that. I feel like they all live at I Love CVille. Like his wife and son are upstairs.
That'd be funny. He could, I guess. Okay, let's get this show on the road.
Let's call. Let's see what DeShanda is
I
up
hope
to.
you figure out the volume so we don't blow up my eardrums today.
Thanks for watching. We're literally down.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. It's like when you are in school and you're
tell her.
So you can turn down the volume on your phone a little bit so that it won't echo.
I did.
All right, perfect. Good.
Oh, we are so excited to have you.
Well, I am excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Sure, you already have so many people watching from all over the United States.
Really?
Yes.
Now I'm really, really excited. Thank you.
So for people who are watching who don't know who you are, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you are so amazing.
Oh, gosh, why am I so amazing? Oh, so my name is DeShanda Carter. I am the CEO of Simply Carter Corp, which is the umbrella company for so many DBAs, which one of them being Carter's Diva Glam Mobile Party, Simply Carter Events, Carter's Caring Hands, the Carter brands. I think I'm missing a few things in here, but yeah.
You are a busy lady.
You are.
Oh, Simply Carter Kids. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm also an author. I've written 2 books. Basically, they're guides for women who want to start business. That's what Simply Carter Corp actually does. We are mentor women and coach women into developing and starting businesses and just kind of guiding them. Like if they, right now it's the way of women and they're like, oh, everybody's starting a business. I just don't know what to do. Sometimes they just need a little push or some direction. So that's what Simply Carter Corp does. And I find that the reason why I'm an authority on it is because I've spent so much money, right? And so many courses and so many classes that I think that I'm enough to say, listen, you don't need to spend this much money to get this information. So I want to kind of help women not to hit those pitfalls that I've done, if that makes sense.
Yes, I love that.
It totally does. So let's back up a little bit here. So
Okay.
You were a corrections captain at Rikers Island, right?
I was. Yes.
And how long were you at Rikers for? How long were you doing this?
So I did corrections in total of 20 years. My whole 20 years did not consist of being on Rikers Island, although I did a lot of overtime in Rikers Island. So for the first 10 years, I was an officer on Rikers Island, pretty much. I worked at the Otis Banham Correctional Center. And then from there, I went to Brooklyn Court, and I was an officer there. Brooklyn Criminal, Brooklyn Supreme Court. So I worked with a lot of high-class, high-profile cases. Then I got promoted to captain. I went to Rose M. Singer Center, where I worked with the women. I worked there for maybe approximately 4 years. Then I went back to Brooklyn. I thought I was going to go back to the court. I actually went to Brooklyn House. And then I left there and I went to work for an assistant commissioner, she was such a gem. Her name was Paulette Johnson. And then when she retired, I went to Bronx Court, and that's where I actually retired from Bronx Court. But throughout the duration of the career, I still worked occasionally. Not even occasionally. I did a lot of overtime. So I worked in a lot of jails continuously on Rikers Island. I think I've worked in every jail except one on Rikers Island.
Wow.
I've worked every hospital, and I've done every court.
Wow. And so how did you even get into corrections? Like, how do you're this beautiful young woman, and you're like, you know what? I have an idea. I'm a badass, and I'm going to get into this jail, and I'm going to show people what's up. Like, how did this whole thing start?
Yeah. Not at all. Well, first of all, when I started corrections, I was 110 pounds. So let's just go there. And I was 23 years old. But what happened? What they say is what happened was My mom is a retired correction officer, so she was actually doing the job. And prior to corrections, I thought I was going to be an entertainer. I'm a SAG actress, so I was living off of my residual money. I had my first son, and I was like, you know what? This money is not really going to last. I didn't really, acting, musical theater, singing, all of that is a very competitive
Right.
field. I had to ensure I had some stability for my son. So I went and I took all of these city tests, and the test that I took was the correction and PD test, and I think that was the only one of its kind. So it was basically whoever called you first. So that's how I ended up getting into corrections. But it was really because my mother was into the field, and she did not encourage me to take the job, but that's where it came from. So I did it.
I mean, because you watch, there's always all these shows on A&E and all these different networks about people in prison, right? Is it really like that? I mean, is it really that scary and that dangerous?
Well, see, I really don't watch TV,
Oh, okay.
so I can't tell you to compare
Right.
what they say. But I will tell you, if you're a person, I didn't grow up in a sheltered community, nor did I grow up in a really bad community. I lived in a middle class community, so you tend to know a lot of people in jail because Rikers Island is the city jail. So if you lived in any of the boroughs, or if you went to school, high school, college, in any of the boroughs, your community, you will tend to know and see people who you have encountered at some point in your life.
Like people
You know
you
what I mean?
know, and
Yeah.
you're the officer in charge, and you see
Yeah,
like your
I've had
neighbors and
plenty.
friends.
Yes, I've had I've had people that I've known in my housing area, and they're like, "Hey," and you're just like, "Hey." I mean, there is a fine line. There is no fraternization, but there's no way you cannot come across someone that you've known, and that's just the reality of it. Being scary, yes. To answer your
Yeah.
question, it is scary, especially for a woman, and especially now. The new corrections is really, really, really difficult, and I don't even know if I would have the energy, the strength, or the mentality to deal with what they're dealing with currently. Um, it's just like life. Everything changes. Like, I say, oh my God, I couldn't live in the 40s or I couldn't live in the 50s, but people adapt to
Right.
their time. So the officers that are there, that's all they know. So they're doing the job that they can, the best job that they can currently. If you threw me back in corrections right now, I would probably have a heart attack and I would probably be fired because it's just certain things I'm not going to wouldn't
So
do.
you think it's different now?
Oh, it's totally different from what I see. I mean, I'm not physically there. My significant other still works there. I still have friends that still are there. I'm in a lot of the Facebook groups that they're in, and I see, the disdain and the stress that they're going through. And I definitely would say, it's a much harder field than it was at the time that I may have been there or the time my mom was there.
So what does a
Um,
correction officer do? Like, can you walk us through like a normal day as a corrections officer?
It's so funny because
it's a
people from New York always know corrections, right? Because that's like the thing, because like what DeShanda was saying, so just to back up and not to cut you off, but so I've said this before, so Rikers Island is basically a funnel for all the people from the different boroughs that have been arrested on whatever charge it is.
Like anything?
Anything. Minimal crimes, big crimes, everyone is funneled through Rikers Island. So like DeShanda was saying, so when you grow up with kids, like when you grow up in like the neighborhood, like so I grew up in Queens, if your friends are getting arrested for graffiti, like
Right.
let's say, like something that's everyone is funneled through Rikers Island, right? So it's like all these different people. So I forgot what the question was.
I just
forgot
want to know,
why
like, what is the typical day?
So yeah, so we knew corrections officers, and we were so used to hearing corrections officers, but people that don't, like, we're used to, like, police or detective or whatever
Right.
it is. So yeah, so
Right.
tell us what a corrections officer does.
So our title of correction officer pretty much is care, custody, and control. Care, custody, and control of inmates. That's it. The police arrest them. The judge sends them to Rikers if they don't have a bail. So now that's how they end up in Rikers. So if they don't have a bail, or if they do have a bail, can't make bail, or if they're remanded and don't have a bail, so they have to stay. So at that point, I was typically a 7 to 3. Let's just go with a 7 to 3 type day.
Okay.
You come in, you do your roll call, you get assigned your duty for the day. You go to your housing area. Whether it's a woman, whether it's a male, I mean, I'm going to speak from the female's perspective because that's what I can speak from. So let's say a dorm area. You're the only officer on the floor with 56 inmates by yourself. Doesn't matter the classification. We have low, medium, and high. And this is a dorm situation. So that means, imagine what a dorm is. It's like a big bubble with 56 cot beds. They have a bathroom area, shower area, and a day room area, and you're there with them. You have an officer who's in the A station, and she or he kind of, checks in and looks over periodically to see that you're okay. But the main function is you are in that housing area by yourself. So you're running them, you're writing out passes for them, because usually inmates that are in those type of housing areas have free reign of movement. I don't know. I do believe it's changed. When I was there, they had free reign of movement. Sometimes now they have to be escorted. So I'm not really sure if that still is a policy or the process. But when I was there, if the inmate had to go to work, had to go to a clinic, had to go to any type of service, the officer would write them a pass. They would go. And they would have to go on their own, and they will return on their own. So you just have to constantly maintain an accurate count. Be like, well, wait a minute. We sent John Doe out 4 hours ago to the clinic. He hasn't gotten back here yet. So they gotta kind of make sure that he didn't get, cut in the building, cut someone in the building, escaped in the building, went to another part of the building. I mean, but throughout the facility, of course, there are officers staged in the, various lobby posts and things of that nature. But for you in your housing area, you still want to ensure that that inmate gets back safely and, in one piece and didn't do anything out in the hallway.
That's right. You don't want to lose someone. You're like, where did Susan go? Like, girl, you've been gone for way too long. You're like, get back.
Susan is swimming across to get back.
Yeah. You're like, Susan, this isn't playtime. We sent you to the dentist. Get back, Susan.
Exactly. And then you're on the phone, you're calling like, listen, have you seen so-and-so? I'm missing the inmate. And then, we do counts throughout the day. So it's like 3 counts each tour. So we're constantly on top of, how many inmates we're supposed to have, where those inmates are at all times. So it's a lot of work.
Yes.
The hardest part of the day is you want to make sure you get all your inmates back where they're supposed to be.
Before your shift is over.
You want to make sure you have your inmates. That's if you're in the housing area. I mean, if you're outside, we have a bunch of different posts. You have people that take them out to the rec yard. You have the cafeteria when they go out to lunch. Some facilities have in-house feeding where the inmates actually eat inside their housing area, so they don't have to go out. But I mean, the lot of time that you have for me today, we could never address everything.
But like the murderers are not mixed up with like the drug dealers. Like they're not all in the same housing unit, are they?
Yeah, I mean, it's by classification. So it's listen, everybody's together. Like I said, it's by class. So we're not going to put someone who jumped necessarily the turnstile with a murderer, right? They try to do it by low class, medium class, and high class. We do try to do that, right? But sometimes it may not happen.
What? I mean, I would be like, please put me in the low class.
Well, it's a whole big process that the department does. That's not my area. That was never my area in terms of classification and how they classify them and where they're housed. By no means does anyone want to be in the worst housing areas. You know what I mean? But the crime fits the time and the location. So if you're out here hacking up people, don't expect to go in a housing area with someone who's doing graffiti. So. It's just
I
what
love
it
it.
is.
You're like the mom of this place, and you're like, everyone get back. You're like, it's like corralling all these people at once, right? You're like, I sent you to the dentist. You said the library. You don't have any books. Get back here right now.
I would be scared.
Nope. I'm taking your pass away. But no.
I would be crying in the corner all day.
But exactly. And funny that you say it is like, Mom, because depending on where you are, you as a woman in corrections are looked upon in different roles. So to some men, they may look at you as a daughter. Some men may look at you as a girlfriend. Some men may look at you as a sister. Some may look at you as a counselor. Some may look at you as a mother if you're working with the younger, the adolescents. So you are a counselor because sometimes, and don't get me wrong, even though these people are there for
They're
crimes,
still
right?
people.
Exactly. And I was really more on the empathetic side. My father did 32 years in, not as an officer, in a federal institution. So I had a mom who was in law enforcement and I had a dad who was, his life was criminal activity where he was in jail for
Wow.
32 years. So I had an empathetic spirit because I can relate. You can't just take, even though these people, you don't know what, and I don't know everyone's story, and that's
Right.
not my job to come home with all of that. But you still, you would be surprised that some of the issues that they were in gangs because they had no
Right.
one, and to get in the gang to feel protected in the street, they had to go beat up an old
Right.
person. And the spirit is saying, like, Miss Carter, I didn't want to do that, but I didn't have a
Right.
choice, because if I didn't do what they said do, then I was going to get beat up every day, or they were going to do something to my family.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So, and that's the sad thing about corrections, because like you said, it's a funnel. Everyone gets funneled pretty much through there, right? So if I don't want to be a part of a gang affiliation, right? And I get out in the street, you can't kind of break ties, because if there's nowhere
Right.
to go unless when you get out of jail, you relocate someplace. Don't tell anybody
Like
where
witness
you're going.
protection.
Right.
Right.
Pretty much, and you can't do that. Everybody can't do that. So unfortunately, it's almost like a revolving door. Especially if you start out as an adolescent, and it's hard to break away from that. It's really, really hard, because they know it's like a crab in a barrel type
Right.
situation. If you want to do well and you have this group of people over here say, no, you belong to us, how do you break
Right.
free?
And do you think your empathy made you a better corrections officer? And also, because you were so empathetic, was it not hard to take their stories personal and to bring that kind of emotion and weight home with you at the end of the day?
So when I became a captain, I became an intake captain, which was the captain who responded to the first response and alarms in the facility. And that usually meant if they were fighting, if they were non-compliant, we were the ones that went in first, the first wave, right? And I found I can kind of say I had a good rapport with a vast majority of
Right.
the inmates. Like, some inmates, if they see me coming and it's me as the probe team captain, they're like, oh God, it's her. So they'll stop, because they know me and they know that I'm going to get what they need to get
Right.
done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that was my thing to do with my job. It tells me to do, not to do less, not to do
Right.
more, but to do my job. And when you do your job, they respect you. You're going to get the
Right.
respect. But there's some ones that will try you. They will try you. But once you put your foot down and are assertive enough, then the respect comes in. So you don't have to necessarily always be forceful. And again, this is my
Right.
time in
Right.
corrections. You understand? So things have changed. But for me, I can pretty much say I had a good rapport with the majority of the inmates. I had my share of uses of force. I mean, I retired 3 years now. I mean, I had to have shoulder surgery. I had to have knee surgery. I had wrist surgery. I mean,
Wow.
there was a lot going on. Like I said, we fought a lot. There was a lot of uses of force that took place, because not everybody was hunky dory with complying and locking in when they
Right.
say lock in. There was a lot of refusing going on in during that time.
So
But
how did you transition from corrections to now your wonderful glam business? How did that
Yes.
come about?
I am so, because I see the glam. I was like, she is probably
She's
walking around
glamorous.
this corrections, and they were all like, damn, girl, like, she is
Glam.
No.
beautiful.
Yes.
let me tell you, this whole thing to me is a job at this point. If you see me typically, I promise you, I am the most comfortable in my baseball cap, in my sweats or some tights, and that's really it. But because I created this whole Carter's Diva Glam mobile
Right. Now
party,
you're
right?
like, you're in it. You have to.
Right.
Exactly, right? So I have to portray this image, which goes back to my whole acting, right? So it's okay. I just put on wardrobe, go do a party, come home, wash my face, crash, and it's fine. So it wasn't set out so much. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, just in general. But I think when I retired, the kids' car service was always there. It was an in and out, right? But initially, when I retired, I have two sons. They're older. They're 21 and 26, I think. Yeah, 26. 25, so whatever. So I was like, so when I retire, I was going to get a game truck.
Yeah,
Are you familiar
where
with
you play video games? Like you take it to kids' parties and they play video games, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to get a game truck. So me and the boys, we're going to go out here, and this will be a little family-owned business, and it'll keep me occupied, and, this is what I want to do, just because I didn't want to work hard when I retired, right?
You've already worked hard.
Right. Yes.
But now I think I'm working even harder than
yes.
So then I said, you know what? There's a lot of game trucks out here. We don't have anything specific for girls. So I worked with the company and customized my game truck. And so I started the Carter's Diva Glam mobile party. So not only do they have the capability of playing video games, they have the capability to get the little eyeshadow done, their lip gloss get popping. We do karaoke. We have photos. But then I had the photo booth on the trailer, right? And I met a gentleman, and he said, listen, you have this photo booth on your trailer. Do you know you can be doing another business? And I was like, what are you talking about? So this is how I began Simply Carter Events. So then when we're not utilizing the trailer for parties, we take the photo booth. We do weddings, sweet 16s, prom, corporate events. So that's a whole nother business that I had started.
Girl, you're getting it done.
So the Carter brand is a body butter line, right? So what happened was I wanted to give each guest on the Diva Glam a gift of the birthday girl. So I was originally buying stuff and putting it in a bag, and I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to give them something made. So what happened was, side note, I had lichen planus. And lichen planus, I don't know if you know, but there was a skin disorder. So my skin had broke out really, really bad. Nobody knew what it was. That's a whole nother story. And I went through so many people, so much money trying to get this skin disorder done. So I ended up meeting a young lady who made body butters and stuff. We end up coming up with a recipe, and we're on our 6th recipe for the Carter brand, and that's how the Carter brand came into fruition. So now all of the clients that come on, they can get a gift. It will be the Carter brand. So that's how that came into play. So Carter's Diva Glam actually spun off two businesses, so a total of 3, it being itself as well. So that's
so
how
you're
that
telling
came
me
about.
Retirement is very slow and boring for you.
Yes. You're not busy at all. You're just sitting home doing nothing.
Right.
Not at all. I mean, even when Corona hit, I really had to go back to work. I was looking for security jobs, all kinds of jobs, because I still had to pay for this equipment. I still have to pay for insurance. I still have to pay. And then this is the thing. I'm the type of person, I'm like, I'm going to get the game truck, not really realizing all of the other things that took place. I had to buy a pickup truck. And so now I have an F-250 extended bed because it has to be pulled with it, right? So I had to buy that. That's the insurance for that. I have liability insurance. I have insurance to make sure that the pickup truck.
My God.
You have insurance for everything in your life.
When I tell you, I didn't. And then with the photo booth, so now when I do separate events, that's a different insurance policy, just the equipment, right? So people think, they see me and they see the videos and they see that I'm out here smiling and having fun. It's a lot of responsibility.
Secretly, you're just crying over your insurance inside. On the inside, you're just like, if I have to get one more insurance, I'm going to lose my shit.
Right, but then COVID happened, right? Especially in New York and around, and people weren't having parties and weddings, and you couldn't do that. So what happened?
I told you I was looking for jobs. I did so many little side hustles in terms of because of me being in law enforcement. It's easy to go get a security job, or it's easier You know what I mean? So I do have a security
Okay.
license, and if all else fails, I can always do that. But the whole purpose of me retiring and getting into the entrepreneurship was because I wanted to work for me. But because my businesses were in the entertainment industry, right? I couldn't work. And so this is the downside, not to say downside, because I did very well in my pension as a supervisor. So my money, they were like, listen, you have income. So I couldn't get unemployment.
Right.
I made too much, so I couldn't get stimulus checks. Right. So I didn't qualify for stimulus money because I was over the tax bracket in that. Um, the first round of PPE I couldn't get, so I'm in the process of getting the personal. But I mean, it was just so much that was going on at the time. I wasn't eligible for half the stuff that people were getting, and I was like, here it is, my son who has no responsibilities except his daughter, and then my other son. They both got stimulus checks for like $1,400, and I'm like, were you
like, give
kidding
that check
me?
to
Yeah,
me?
you're like, you owe me. 26 years old, you owe. No, get it back now.
Well, he doesn't live here.
Damn
He doesn't
it.
live here. He was with his family, but just the mere fact, the younger one still the 21-year-old still at home. But I was like, I couldn't believe it. So I didn't get any of those benefits. So, like I said, I've got the second round of PPE that's in the process right now.
Good.
And PPE.
And are you back open?
No,
Are you doing parties and things now?
Yeah, what's happening? What's the future? What's happening?
So yesterday we actually did I would say our first one. We did one in January, but it didn't really qualify because it was really quick, small, 1, 2, 3. But right now, this is our busiest season in terms of the Carter's Diva Glam from the spring into the summer. So yesterday we did an Easter event for a city councilwoman in Yonkers in New York. She had an Easter egg hunt for her the constituents in her area, and she really wanted the photo booth, but I sold her on the photo booth and the trailer. And the kids had a great time playing video games, as well as we did the photos for them. So hopefully, and we have things on the books for April. We have some things on the books for May. So we're looking to fill up as much as possible to, get back into the swing of things. Again, for me, it is a business, and as I did say, I do spend a lot of money on the business. But to be totally honest with you, it's not about the money. I really enjoy playing with the kids. I'm a big kid anyway. I mean,
you could see when you talk about, like, when you are talking about corrections, you're like, okay, this is what it was, and I did this job. But when you talk about your business and all of these things that you achieve, your entire face just lights up. Like, you can just tell that it's like
that you love it.
Such a fulfilling thing that you've done. It's awesome.
It is. It really is. It is because, when some of the kids that I've encountered are more privileged than the others. Sure. You know what I mean? So we've done parties where kids are like, oh, we do this all the time. But I've done parties where there were kids who have not had an experience like this, and they have said to me at the end of the party, like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Or when they come in and they're so excited and you see their faces like, oh my God, this is Mom, this is nice. I want to have a party like this. And it just really, really, really just makes me feel really good to know that I've created something that makes other people happy. And I have a great team. Excuse me. My mom is always on standby. Like, she's like, listen, I ain't got time to be dealing with this. But if I fall short, like yesterday, I had to have her come, and she was out there taking temperatures, and she was doing video, and she was taking pictures, and she was handing out beads. My boyfriend, he is my tech man. Like, let me tell you, when it comes to everything about that trailer, he puts up everything, takes down everything, he brainstorms everything. And then I have my wonderful Diva Glam girls. Like, I call them my Diva Glam girls because when I go out and do the parties, I try to hire young ladies so they can see a couple of things that it's a woman that has, this is my business. So they can see that. Also, they don't have to say their first job is McDonald's. Right? We don't have to do McDonald's. Not to take anything from it, but my first job pretty much was McDonald's too. But just to see that there's other avenues that they can go into, and I have their input, like what they think we should do. We talk about different things when it comes to the eyeshadow. Do you like this color? Should we change the nail polish? I incorporate them in, because I want them to have that, be headstrong and be able to speak and not be afraid to speak up, like talk. I have them do the interviews after the videos so they can get acclimated to talking to other people, because a lot of times kids get lost in themselves or get intimidated. So I definitely want to show them, no, you're going to be a business owner. And if you're not a business owner, whatever field you go into, when you talk to people, I want you to be assertive. I want you to be headstrong. You never look down. You look people in their eyes. So I teach them, different things of that nature, because I want them to be productive, strong women in their community as well.
I love this so much. Well, I know we've kept you so long. We told you this interview was going to be 15 minutes.
I know.
We're like, just kidding. It's an hour and a half. We love you so much. We're never going to let you go.
Right.
And now we're best friends.
But don't forget to check out the when the blue comes on. Remember that.
So tell us where people can find your business and where they can see your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay, so you can go to simplycartercorp, right, .com, and there's a funnel there that will drop down, and you can go to all of the businesses there. Yes. Right? So it's easier just to say simply SIMPLY Carter, CARTER Corp. And if you go to the website then will drop you down, and you will see the names of all the other businesses, and then you can follow those businesses on Instagram and Facebook. But if you don't want to do that, I'm just going to run them off really quickly one more time, so you can try to find it. So Carter's Diva Glam Mobile Party, where we do parties for women and kids. That is on Facebook and Instagram. Simply Carter Events is on Facebook and Instagram. That's the photo booth rental company. Simply Carter Kids is the car service that we have for kids. This is also on Facebook and Instagram. The Carter brand body butter line, you can go on Instagram and Facebook for that as well. And if I forgot anything, which I probably did, again, go to Simply Carter Corp, and you should be able to find all of my social media and handles from there. And my name is DeShanda Carter, so you can always find me on social media too, and then DM me, and I can give you the information.
To the company on our Facebook page, so you guys can all see that, and we'll put a link on our website so people can find you as well. But it's such an honor to talk to you. You are such, as Kelly and I are both business owners, like you are such an inspiration to us and to women, literally not only where you are, but all over the world that get a chance to see you and watch you and see these incredible things that you're doing. And I feel like we could be sisters, because as you're talking, I'm like, I did the same thing. Like, I have an idea. I'm like, it'll be great. I'm going to ship you a craft kit filled with wine. And people are like, did you get a license? And I'm like, oh, a license? Tell me more. Like, gotta get a license. Side note. I was like, we should chat after, because you can be my new mentor.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you a lot of things. I'm one of those people, like I said, I get an idea, I jump into it, and just like you said, I got to get a license. Oh, I need insurance for that. Oh, I need a truck for that. Oh, I need that. Where am I parking this 32-foot trailer? I thought I could park it in the storage. And let me tell you, that was a whole nother situation. I didn't have any place to park it. It was crazy.
That is so me. That is all me.
Very Jamie.
All me.
It was really crazy. Yeah. So I can relate. But thank you guys for having me.
It was our pleasure. It was so great to see you. We are going to keep in touch as soon as Kelly and I, as soon as we start traveling and we come up, we're gonna take you out for coffee in New York. We'd love to meet you in person.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd be so excited.
And I'm a good gamer, FYI.
Oh boy, Kelly's the game.
I didn't hear.
Kelly said she's a good gamer.
I'm a really good gamer.
Oh, well, listen, come on down. We'll be on the trailer, and we'll have girls' night, because, we do girls' night on the trailer,
I love this. Yeah. I am for girls' night. Glam bus and wine. Sign me up.
Yes, that's one of the things we do. So definitely we'll have to talk.
Absolutely.
Well, we love you, girlfriend. Keep up the good work. We are all watching you. You are such an inspiration. We love you so much. Continue on.
Thank you. I love you for having me, and tell your dad thank you. I'm gonna message her.
He will love that. He is gonna keep in touch with you forever. Now that he has your Facebook, he is gonna. I'm surprised he hasn't emailed you. Like lunch today. He's probably
the one that was calling.
Lunch today. Kelly said he's probably the one that's calling you.
Actually, it's my son.
All right. Well, we love you, girlfriend. Thanks so much. Yes. We will see you soon.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
You too. Bye. Wow.
I loved her.
What an impressive.
Right, and I love the fact that she's using her business to inspire other young women. Right?
Love it.
I hit that.
Love how she's hiring, right, like these young women and teaching them all of these things. What an inspiring woman.
I loved her.
And can you picture her as this captain of these corrections? Like, such a...
No. But I think the fact that she was so caring and compassionate, compassionate for them, I think, hopefully changed their lives inside for the better.
Right. And I think, and my dad, and you can comment about this too, my dad said kind of like the same thing is like when you are working in, corrections or a prison or something, and you really start to hear about like people's stories and about that they really are people, like it takes that like...
stigma away.
Right. And to kind of help them. Some people are like, getting in there and they're not, convicted yet or something, and they just need help to get on a different path.
Right. I don't know. I've never been to jail.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what it would be like. Judah, have you ever been to jail?
No. Maybe.
James,
like, nope, didn't fill that on the I Love CVille application. Jerry, hope you're not watching.
No. Checked no.
We're going to block Jerry from this episode so he doesn't hear Judah's past. I mean, I've never been to jail either, but I have been on a tour of the jail.
I've been inside of it, like a waiting area picking somebody up from jail.
I went on
like
a tour.
A friend, but
yeah, I went on a tour of the jail, so I got to see inside, and I got to see into the hallway of where, like, so I think I've told this story before on the show. Like, there's like a big hallway, and then there's like a dentist, a library, a bedroom, or like. So I've got to see all that, and it's jail is not
doesn't look fun.
It's not a nice place.
I mean, I don't want to go. I'm not going to try it out.
Want to be, and the you see the lives of like all these families who are affected by people that are going to prison,
right?
Which makes it even more sad.
Ugh.
So prison,
no, thank you.
We don't like you. Mm-mm. All right, so some news. What happened? So last night, NCAA basketball final.
Yes,
Stanford took home the win. It was their first title since 1992.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah.
Not guys. And then tonight, the guys are playing for their final. I think it's Baylor and somebody else.
I haven't been watching any of the basketball.
I'm not a big basketball fan.
I'm not a big basketball.
But congratulations to the girls.
Congratulations to the girls. That is awesome. I can't imagine how it feels to win a championship. See, like, I never played sports. Like, ever in my whole life.
That doesn't surprise me.
Like, ever. I swam. I danced. I was more like a one-person show. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to be a part of your team.
I love playing on a team.
Tap dance around, and I want to swim my own lane. I don't want to like mess with your dive. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, but I
like being on a team.
But I've never like been in some sort of like a championship where I'm like, we have collectively won this thing. You know what I mean? So I wonder how that feels. I wonder if that's like the best thing ever.
I don't know. I mean, I've never won a national anything, so I have no idea.
We should join a team, Kelly. You and I. We should join like synchronized swimming.
Jamie,
we should totally join.
We can't just be a team. You and I are already a team, but we don't do.
We should do like a team.
Who is going to let us join their team? Is the question.
I don't know.
Nobody.
If you're watching and we can join your team, like,
and that's something that we can do.
So if it's a sports team, maybe like a goalie where I could stand there and like catch something.
No, we can be like the water girls.
Oh, that would be a great job
or
for
like
us.
The very energetic cheerleaders on the side. We could do that.
Both amazing positions.
Yes, I think so. I know. What else do you have for me in the news? There wasn't a lot of women in the news.
There wasn't a lot of news. Lena Dunham is starting a new plus-size clothing line.
Okay. Let's see it.
She's been working on it for a pretty long time.
What is it called? Does it say?
It doesn't give us. It's kind of an odd 11 Honor by Lena Dunham debuts. So we'll post a link there, but it's going to be plus size women. And she is championing, she's been doing this for many, many years, championing designers to start to kind of offer some plus size options or options that are above a size 10. You know, not that that's like
Is that a plus? Is that considered plus size?
It's like, but you know how all these designers, like you see like all these fancy like Calvin Klein or, you know. And
everything's only in a size 00.
Right. Like you get all these things.
Who is that size anyway?
Right. Like, so you want people to have access to clothing that looks good and fits them. And like, why should it only be a size 6? So.
I agree.
That is what Lena Dunham is doing.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I don't know any more news here.
Okay,
I told you about a Chinese woman. She is there's this Chinese woman. She is adorable. She went on a solo road trip. She's a 56-year-old.
Like around China? Like a solo road trip driving around China?
Su Min.
Can they do that right now?
She's 56 years old.
Okay.
She is driving around China. She basically was a family person. She has grandchildren. And she said, you know what? F this. I am out. And she took this road trip. She drove all over China. She has 1.35 million followers across all of her social media platforms, and she's basically talking out against. She was in a very abusive relationship.
Oh, geez.
And she was living this life, and she basically like couldn't take it anymore. She was like, you know what? I'm living this like I'm living for all my kids. I'm living for my grandchildren, and I'm sure there's so many women out there that feel that way. That's like I've been a stay-at-home mom all these years, and I've like given my life to all these people, and like I've just been.
When's the time for me?
I'm done. So she took this road trip and she documented it. It'll be interesting to see how China feels about this because you know that as a communist country, they're not into women's rights and women speaking out against all these different things that are happening. So we will see how that goes. But she says she could not be happier and that she is like living her truth and getting out
living
there.
Living her best life out there.
It's awesome.
Who do we have on next week?
So next week is Kristen. Kristen Watson from Pure Velo will be here.
Very exciting.
If you guys, if you live in Charlottesville, she's opened up actually studios in North Carolina too. So if you live down there, Pure Velo is a cycle studio. She is amazing. She started it, I don't know how many years it's been. It's been at least 5 or 6 years. It's awesome, cycle studio in downtown Charlottesville. The music is great. It's just awesome. And then she started her own clothing line recently, like back in the last probably year.
Is it workout stuff?
It is, and it's awesome. So she
love
models
that
this clothing line. It's all these young women that have been supporting Kristen and her husband doing these amazing things. She is a total badass, so she will be here next week telling us all about the good stuff.
Well, good. Well, I hope you enjoy the nice weather this week, Jamie.
Yeah. What do you have planned? Anything fun for this week?
I'm coming to Pikasso Swig.
Oh, right. Wednesday. That's right. We are going to do an art class. Teaching the kids how to paint.
Yeah.
You should paint with them.
I mean, I'll try.
You should
Maybe we'll stream it live to see what
my
my picture turns out to be. No, the kids are on spring break, so I'm just going to pal around with them. I think we're going to redo our playroom.
Ooh,
good.
Exciting
things.
We are glad. So Pikasso Swig, we're done with our Easter baskets.
Yes.
Yes, we hand stuffed them all this year, so I'm done. Delivered. Ryan dressed up as the Easter Bunny. We should have put up a picture. Ryan was the Easter Bunny, delivered a bunch of baskets. That was super fun. So thanks for everyone for letting us do those baskets. They're so fun. I love this time of year. I love packing the baskets for all the kids. It's really, really fun.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go grab some lunch, take it home to my husband who's working in the office, and gonna go enjoy the day.
Awesome. I get my next COVID vaccine, my final one next Tuesday.
Exciting. Hope you have nothing planned for Wednesday because you're probably
I know. Everyone said that I might be a little bit sicky, so that's okay. Special thanks to our sponsors, Colonial Auto Center. Thank you for sponsoring our show. As always, if you're looking for a new or used vehicle or getting your vehicle serviced, colonialautocenter.com is the place. Panera Bread. I've been frequenting Panera Bread just because I've been working so much more. Thank goodness. Lots of Asiago cheese bagels that have been...
I just had one that was delicious this morning.
It is a very good bagel.
It's like the best bagel.
Do you think it's the type of cheese?
I think it's just a good bagel.
Do you think it's the Asiago cheese that makes it so good?
Yes.
Like, why is it so good?
Because it's Panera and it's delicious. I don't know what to tell you.
It's very good. Pikasso Swig, you can check out our website at picassoswig.com. And you know what? I'm going to do a discount code.
What? Oh, look at you. Do it, Jamie.
I'm going to do a discount code.
Okay. For our viewers.
Yes. So in honor of DeShanda being here today and all these things, we're going to do, you can get 10% off any order on our website. And I'm going to set up this code after the show. If you use code Carter, CARTER, in honor of DeShanda and all the amazing stuff she do, you're going to get 10% off all of our craft kits at picassoswig.com. Pikasso swig.com. 10% off. Let's do it.
Who doesn't want 10% off? I always want 10% off.
Celebrating women. Yes.
Well, I can't wait to see you on Wednesday, Jamie.
I know. It's going to be a fun week. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Please like and share the show. Follow us on Instagram. Do it.
Are we on Twitter? Are you
Twitter? I was like, don't worry about Twitter.
Okay,
let's not even focus on that yet. Let's just focus on me and stuff.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, like us on Instagram.
Like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Share the show.
We'll see you next Monday.
And we'll see you next week. Kristen will be here. It's going to be a good one.
Love it.
So, thanks, everyone, and keep changing the world. Until next time.
Later.
Ciao. What a good show. I loved her so much.
I loved her so much. I do love video games. I love